We are now in the geometry unit. We are still dealing with unit conversions. So we will still be doing converting, but I want you to notice that now it is with capacity and time. So here are the unit conversions for capacity. This is on your formula sheet, and here it is for time. So we're going to be looking for unit conversions on these two boxes. The same process we used in 8.1 and 8.2, we will also use in 8.3 and 8.4. So again, we are starting with 10 quarts. Since quarts is on top, we want to put quarts on bottom. Now I'm going to look to see if there is a unit conversion directly from quarts to gallons. This is considered capacity. So I'm going to look. Now, if you'll notice, here's quarts, but that goes to pints. I want quarts to gallons, so I see this one. 4 quarts is equivalent to 1 gallon. So since quarts is on bottom, I will put 4 quarts is the same thing as 1 gallon. So I cancel out quarts, we want gallons, and that's what we're left with. So again, we take top times top, 10 times 1 gallon, over the denominator there's a 4. So when we go to our calculator, so we have 10 times 1, I have 4. Now this is going to go ahead and simplify, so I get 5 halves, because I'll just put this extra step in here. 10 times 1 is 10, this is 4 gallons, but my calculator reduced that for me to be 5 halves gallons. Now that's improper, so I can convert that to its equivalent mixed, which is 2 and 1/2 gallons. And of course I can convert that to a decimal, which would be 2.5 gallons. All 3 of these answers for me are correct. Again, pay attention to WebAssign. Now, this next one takes several unit conversions to finally get to gallons. So be sure you have this next to you, because we are starting with 95 ounces. 95 ounces. So I know ounces will go on bottom. And if you'll look, we're going to gallons. Well, here's gallons. This is the only one that has gallons, and we're going to ounces, and this is the only one that has ounces. So notice I cannot go directly from gallons to ounces. So we're going to have to go through several different unit conversions. So since I need, let me pull this. Oh, I'm sorry, we're going to gallons. Okay, so I have ounces. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to convert my ounces to cups. So I have 8 ounces is equivalent to 1 cup. All right, so my ounces are gone, and that's good, but I want gallons, not cups. So I'm not going to convert back to ounces, so I look down here. Well, here I can get cups to pints. So I'm going to do another, trying to keep this all on here so you can see it the whole way through. All right, cups is on top. I want cups on bottom. So I'm going to go from cups to pints. So 2 cups is 1 pint. So again, cups are gone, which that's a good thing, but we're now left with pints and we want gallons. So I need another unit conversion. Well, I'm not going to use the same unit conversion because it'll take me right back to cups. So I look here and I go, okay, if pint's on top, pint goes on bottom, and I'm going to convert 2 pints to 1 quart. So pints are gone, which is a good thing. Now we're in quarts, but I don't want quarts. I want to be able to cancel quarts out. Again, I'm not going to use the same unit conversion because it'll take me back to pints. So I look down. Finally, 4 quarts is 1 gallon. So quarts are gone, and yippee-yi-yay. Hopefully that gave you a little chuckle. We have gallons. Okay, so now I look and I go, okay, I have 95 times 1 times 1 times 1 times 1. Well, anything times 1 is just itself. So we have 95 gallons. And my denominator is, now I'm going to actually have to, I'm going to multiply 8 times 2 times 2 times 4, and I get 128. All right, so I have 95 over 128. Now, it's already proper, so this cannot be converted into a mixed numbers, but I am going to see if it'll reduce, so I'm going to put in 95 over 128, and it does not. So that's the reduced fraction. If I wanted to convert it to a decimal, it's not terminating, so it is approximately 0.74 gallons. So it just depends on what WebAssign wants. Probably this, because it's an exact answer. This is an approximation. Okay, now we're going to go gallons to pints. So we have 2.5 gallons. And I know I want to get rid of gallons, so I'm going to go ahead and put this on the bottom. Now, again, let's see. All I have is the ability to convert gallons to quarts. So I'm going to do that first. 1 gallon is 4 quarts. So my gallons cancel. Well, since I don't want quarts, I'm going to go out again. I want to get rid of quarts, so I'll put that on bottom. My goal is pints. So now I'm in quarts, and there is my unit conversion. Whoops, wrong color pen. 1 quart is 2 pints. So my quarts cancel. I now have pints, which is what I want. So I'm going to take top times top times top. So I'm going to take 2.5 times 4 times 2. And my denominator is 1 times 1. And this is pints. So I'm going to go do that. Let my calculator do the work. 2.5 times 4 times 2. And of course, 1 times 1 is just 1. So I get 20. 20 pints. All right, so those were 3 examples dealing with capacity. Now we're going to use these unit conversions that deal with time. So we're starting out with 5.5 days. So I want to get rid of days, so I'm going to put that on the bottom. Now I'm going to look to see if there is a day to hour. Well, there's an hour to minute. Here's a day and hour unit conversion. So we are going to use this unit conversion. 1 day is 24 hours. My days cancel. I am left with hours, which is what we want. All right, let me move this over. So I have top 5.5 times top 24 hours over 1. Anything over 1 is itself. So we're going to take 5.5 times 24. So 5 and 1/2 times 24. I get 132, and anything over 1 is just itself. So I get 132 hours. So if you worked 5.5 days straight, that would be awful. Because you would get no sleep. You are up for 132 hours. Please don't do that. That is not healthy. Okay. We start out with a whole bunch of seconds, and we're going to convert that into hours. See how many hours it is. So if you took a nap for 17,220 seconds, we want to see how long that nap is. So I start out here. 17,220 seconds. I want to get rid of seconds, so it's going to go on the bottom, and I'm looking for seconds to hours. So I look here, and the only one with seconds is to minutes, so I'm going to do that one first. Let's see if I can get both. So we are going to use 60 seconds is equivalent to 1 minute. Okay, so my seconds cancel, but since I don't want minutes, I'm going to go out a second unit conversion. Now I'm looking for if there's one that is minutes to hours. And sure enough, minutes to hours is right here. So we have 60 minutes is 1 hour. So now my minutes are gone and I'm left with hours. So again, if you took a nap for 17,220 seconds, how many hours did you sleep? So top times top times top. Well, any number times 1 is just itself. So we have 17,220. And on the bottom, we have 60 times 60. So if you go to your calculator and do 60 times 60, you should get 3,600. And remember, now this is in hours. Okay, I'm going to put that in my calculator and see how many hours that is. 17,220 over 3,600. So I slept 287 over 60 hours. Well, that's kind of hard to know what that is, so I'm going to convert that to a mixed number. And you had a very long nap. It was 4 hours and 47 out of 60. So basically 4.783 hours. So almost 5 hours. That is a long, long, long nap. Okay, again, pay attention to WebAssign, what form that they wanted in. All right, so we are now going to look at an application problem that deals with either capacity or time. All right, it says 5 students are going backpacking in the desert. All right, here's my 5 students. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're all happy because they're backpacking. All right, so there's my 5 students. Each student requires 5 quarts of water. All right, so each student needs 5 quarts of water. Per day. How many gallons of water should the students take for a 3-day trip? Okay, so first we want to know how much, let's see what I want to do. I want to know how much water is needed per day. All right, so to do this, I have 5 students times each one needs 5 quarts of water, so we need 25 quarts per day. Secondly, then I need to know the amount of water that is needed for the full trip. All right, so we need, 25 quarts per day times 3 days. So we need a total of 75 quarts. All right, so this is the amount of water that is needed for the 3-day trip for all 5 students. So then what we're going to do, because it wants this in, it wants this in gallons, so we are going to convert 75 quarts to gallons. So we just use our same process. 75 quarts. I want to get rid of quart. So I want to go to gallons, and lo and behold, there is a unit conversion that will convert from quarts to gallons. So we have 4 quarts is 1 gallon. Cancel quarts, we're left with gallons. So 75 times 1 is 75. Denominator is 4, and we're talking about gallons. That is improper. So that would be 75 over 4. If I convert that to a mixed number, whoops, looks like I did the wrong one. Let me do that again. I pushed the wrong button. Convert that. So we get 18 and 3/4 gallons of water is needed. Or you could put 18.75 gallons. All right, so now you have web-assigned assignments due over 8.3. So 8.3 deals with capacity, so you'll be using these unit conversions. 8.4 deals with time, so you'll be using these unit conversions.